He's always had to be this adult his whole life, you know? And it's so great. Like, there's so much to do, like I said, from slapstick to drama. A lot of the things that I guess have been worked on is to make it much more subtle and to see, as opposed to telling everybody what they should be thinking, letting people figure it out for themselves. I remember when I talked to John, like, before we started, like, in Los Angeles, he said that one of the things he really wants to work on is not preaching at all. And I think making Charlie less of this perfect, confident, happy person does that, because nobody's like that. Something drives somebody all the time. People in Charlie's position often have to be parents to themselves. They can choose to be good parents or bad parents, and he chooses to be a good parent to himself. He can handle himself, and that's one of the things that I think makes him really believable. What you see about him initially, pretty much till about half the film, is his unyielding sense of optimism and confidence. He listens to people's problems, then he reads about them or talks to various therapists about them and figures out a way to help each person. And progressively, what he does is, by helping them figure out their own problems and by listening to them, they become a lot more comfortable with themselves and, because of that, comfortable with each other. So essentially, through his therapy, he unites the entire school. Through Susan, he comes to see that there's a very human nature to Principal Gardner. They start off as these adversaries with very similar sort of these, like I said, headstrong personalities. And in the end, through their personalities and how similar they are, they help each other. They sort of complement each other. He walks in the bathroom and Murphy Bivens, who's like, a school bully and whatever, Charlie just speaks to him, and Murphy naturally gets offended because he's always on the offensive. And so he dunks his head in the toilet. And the first time Charlie sees Gardner is when Gardner comes in and tells him to break it up. And Gardner assumes that Charlie's just a teacher or whatever with his head in the toilet. Gardner's weak spot is Susan. It's his relationship with his daughter. And Charlie is his daughter's boyfriend. And not only her boyfriend, but this guy that's sort of united this whole school, which is what Gardner's been trying to do in his personality. Potentially, Gardner could have been Charlie when he was like 17. Whenever we work on a scene, it's like, I'm always like for making it as real, but it's sort of weird as possible, because everything that Charlie does has this bizarre, funny/sad edge to it, no matter what it is. And that's one of those things that's sort of prevalent in the whole film. He takes things that adults say and sort of translates them into what, like, their kids want to be hearing, takes what the kids are saying and translates it to what the adults want to be hearing. And that's both sort of his problem and his unique talent. The reason he's popular is because he's helping everybody, and he's telling them exactly what they need, essentially, and he's being very, very honest with them. And his honesty comes out from the moment he steps onto the moment he gets off the short bus to go to school the first day, And it's what draws people to him. I started walking, and I was just like, God, this probably sucks. And then, like, I walked by, and one of these guys, like, his name's Arnold. He's one of the guys at the school. I was like, no, man, that is not how you do it. I was like, all right, show me. And he's like, well, you're walking with your head like this. And I was like, all right, show me what you mean. And him and his friends all sort of did this thing for me. And we did, like, take after take where I learned from these guys. I think the idea that everybody has to sort of loosen up and become comfortable with themselves, it's like a big comfort thing. If you're comfortable with yourself, most likely you're going to be comfortable with other people. And I think it's a big message in the film. Charlie doesn't always do these right things. I mean, selling prescription drugs isn't the best thing to do. It's selling drugs. But at the same time, what he does through all of these little things is make this, unify the school as a whole and help people. What makes Charlie cool? Tidy whities make Charlie cool. You see everybody wearing boxers, right? But you never see anybody that's 17 wear tidy whities. It's the way to go.